So my homie Mel, who in case you didn't know is the reason I have these fire avatars, shared this tweet with me recently that really sparked the idea for this video. The tweet in question is a response to someone asking, why do people want Nicole from the Amazing World of Gumball to cheat on Richard? To which this person replies, because he doesn't deserve her. Now I'm thinking this is probably just some funny Twitter joke that I don't understand because I am not on Twitter. But no, people are actually debating this and people are genuinely mad about this. And now I'm mad that people are mad about this because this is either immaculate rage bait or a sign of worse things to come, especially considering that season 7 is dropping this year. So I gotta roast this tweet. Like with the previous pack outs, I'm not here to be nice. I'm just gonna say exactly what I'm thinking as I write. First off, before I argue against the point that Richard does not deserve Nicole, I feel it's only fair that I give the person's reasoning for this opinion some validations. Now, the most reasoning that they give in this thread is in this reply where they say, he's in his late 30s with no job and he's an awful stay-at-home dad. Now, I'm going to give the most credit possible to this dumbass because they're actually right. Everything they use to justify their point here is absolutely factual. Richard is lazy, he has no job, and it's shown multiple times that he does close to nothing around the house. As a matter of fact, there's a whole episode dedicated to that very fact. But here's the problem. The justifications are all provably correct, but the point they're trying to prove with it is not only made in bad faith, but it ignores other factors and context of the show, which they do mention they have watched in its entirety. So I'm going to hold them up to the highest possible standard. First and most importantly, they miss the context of the entire show, because you see, The Amazing World of Gumball is a comedy, meaning the characters making decisions that no logical person would make in real life, or in any other medium like a drama, for example, is perfectly acceptable because the point isn't for everything to be logical and make sense. The point is for you to laugh. And to laugh, you have to be okay with the fact that Richard is so lazy that he would have a lazy competition with his 2 children, only to win it with absolutely no shame. If you were to take the show seriously in any capacity, much like any comedy, it would be the most annoying thing ever. We don't, so it's funny. Secondly, while they claim to have watched the whole show, the user seems to have missed a lot of the important context of the show, which makes sense. We are talking about the average Twitter. I'll go in level of importance. Richard not having a job is true, but there is a whole episode where Richard attempts to keep a job selling pizzas. It wasn't because Nicole or anyone else told him to, he just did it out of his own will. Granted, he was only using it so he could get free pizza, but still, he did try to get a job. If we were following the logic of any other genre, any other show, Nicole would be happy. Despite being proud of Richard for actually getting a job, she doesn't think he should have one because it just doesn't feel right. The episode would validate her later, as Richard having and maintaining a job successfully would quite literally cause the end of the world. So in the show's logic, which is the only logic that matters here, Richard cannot have a job. Next, to the point of saying he has no parenting skills, take the episode The Hero, where it's shown that not only was Richard there for Gumball during his most important moments, such as taking his first steps, in that episode it's shown that he actually makes attempts to be a good father, but because of his incompetence, it never works the way he wants it to. But the whole point of the episode that they should be aware of, because they have watched the whole show, actually, nah, I don't believe them. I really don't believe they watched the whole show, but regardless, is that Richard loves his kids and his family, and he tries his best. I don't think anyone can call him a bad father or undeserving of the family he has, or say that he deserves to get cheated on after watching him save his son's life. Also, side note, the fact that this user suggested that she cheats instead of her leaving Richard if she's unhappy says a lot about who. The biggest rebuttal that I have to note on this tweet is the entire episode, the choices. Brief synopsis, the episode follows Nicole reliving the day she met Richard. It's the first episode where we see her parents, who have ridiculously high expectations of her, put her in an ungodly amount of extracurriculars, and expect her to excel at everything without getting tired or complaining.
Got straight A's.
Not here. Gender.
Yeah, F because I'm female.
Being a girl is not an excuse.
Through the entire episode, she relives the choices she made and wonders what would have happened if she had stopped and talked to someone else before she had the opportunity to meet Richard. In every single scenario there is, she either dies, gets married to a banana and becomes insane, gets married to Harold and kills him, or becomes a ruthless dictator. In every other timeline of events where she doesn't meet Richard, her life ends up at least 10 times worse. But now let's actually get to the point where she meets Richard. It's made very clear from the get-go that Richard is dumb, but what's also clear is that he treats her with respect. Everybody in this episode, and subsequently everyone in her life up until this point, has treated her like shit. But Richard is respectful and is shown to actually care about her despite not even knowing her for that long.
What would you do if you were me?
If I had done everything you've done, sleep till I'm 40.
I mean, what should I do with my life?
Maybe start living it?
Which is exactly why the two end up together after a fed up Nicole moves out of her parents' house. Why they end up having the family they have. And Nicole at the very end of the episode saying that she wouldn't want it any other way. You cannot argue this point to me in good faith. And that leads me to an even bigger issue, the one that I really want to tackle. One that I can see being more prominent when the new season drops especially. Gumball is getting to a point of popularity on the internet where people who don't care for it, who don't watch it, or don't understand it, are going to have opinions on it. Opinions like this. People are going to start analyzing and quote unquote critiquing the show in ways it was never supposed to be critiqued because they simply don't get the show. Think of what happened to Steven Universe in the 2010s, where people twisted the show to fit whatever whack video essay they wanted to make that week. If a video like Gumball sucks and here's why were to ever drop, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Matter of fact, I'm calling it. The whole point of this quick video wasn't for me to just roast some random Twitter thread, although I did quite enjoy it. I needed to say that if you are someone who doesn't know the show, please don't speak on it when the new season drops, because I and the rest of the internet will be much less forgiving than we were to this nigga right here. Jesus Christ, the ratios on that tweet went insane. God.